left me with tequila. I had tequila.
That's also now the first thing heard on the stream. Anyway, welcome to a fresh session of Rescue at Raxis. Last time, the beginning of the aftermath. That about covers it, right? Nothing really important happened, nothing anyone wants to share?
No.
We pinned all the credit on Siegfried.
Who?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the half-orc
That way,
dude who's
when-
living in your home
when
because
the
you burned
hags
down
come
his.
Yeah. When the hags come after him, it's not our problem. He's not around.
Well, fair enough, man. But yes, you did get some rewards, get some improvements, recovery, some additions to the household, such as Orbinson. Droop returned to the party's embrace. Well, Cornelius's approval. Congrats is there. Might be some questions. But in general, you now have a morning the day after. You've got the whole day ahead of you. You know that later on the night looms a drinking contest. For some of you, that might be irresistible. But the rest of this day, and for several more perhaps, it's all upon your own. And I hope you also took advantage of the Unearthed Arcana for class change features.
Nope.
There is currently no one knocking on your door right now with jobs.
Yeah, at the moment, there wasn't really any of the class changes I wanted to do.
Ditto. Oh,
I think
shoot.
Raider talked about something.
Yeah, I made the changes.
So Malgurn's a paladin again? He has done good.
No. He's got to earn that. The only one who has earned anything paladin worthy has been Castalia.
Well, oh, okay, we're going to the city map. Okay.
Might as well, there's not a whole lot to do in the house.
Yeah.
So we can take in,
Might actually want to move home.
yep, your activities.
Zazzle is going to probably spend most of the day trying to teach Displacer Beast how about moral and ethics.
Moral ethnic ethics, okay.
Well, whatever.
I'm confused. What is the kobold talking about? This is very confusing.
And Rain is going to be joining the incident to try to work with Senior Pufflesworth.
Joining what incident?
She's gonna sit in on the class.
itty-bitty.
In the class.
Yes.
Pufflesworth is extremely bored the entire way, and you are dragging him towards the talking kobold.
What's the double disadvantage now? I'm trying to teach a dwarf and Pufflesworth.
Well, the problem is you can't really convey ideas and whatnot. The ranger's link to an animal is, they can get a sort of sense, a slight bit of empathy in, hunger and fear, territory, that sort of thing. You can't really just point at it and say, now do this and you will get this treat. It's more like this animal is scared and you've got a sense of how to keep it from escalating.
I doubt the Displacer Beast is afraid of a kobold.
Well, I'm just pointing out examples. You do also have Speak with Animals on a ring.
Yep, that I
Yes.
have.
It's also a spell
I will
some of you might
offer-
have.
Yep.
Spells? What are those?
I think that means the healing thing. That's what
Oh,
I
the
use my
thing that
spell
makes me
slots
not
for.
hurt. Got it.
Because this Displacer Beast has gotten bigger. We really need to get on with the training side of things.
Yes, she is quite large now. The tip horns are almost at her shoulder. But she's just a little bit smaller than that.
That's what I'm doing this morning. What else are the people doing?
Well, I think Cornelius probably gotta take a look at some of these stuff we managed to pilfer and not quite identify yet. Like, for instance, the hourglass that kept turning his age.
I'm sure it's fine.
Roll me an intelligence save.
Intelligence save.
Yes.
That's how he died.
You take, for your effort of trying to identify this thing, 3 points of psychic damage.
Ow!
As you try to discern what the nature of this object is, and it kicks back. This is not some mere magical artifact. But it does look pretty on a mantelpiece. You know, it's got some good feng shui about it.
I think we're gonna try again.
Alright then.
This is how he died, folks.
You take no psychic damage, but you still feel the thing fighting back against you.
That is interesting.
Let's see now. I'll leave a right sort of roll for this. I'll say roll Arcana.
Bam.
Yeah, you start to piece together a few little anecdotes and snippets you managed to track during your studies of generally an item that a hag covets tends to be useful only for the hag or is highly protected so that no one else can make free use of what they have, because that's, after all, that's something they can use for a deal. So this thing can be used. It's not useless to you, but it's still got the taint of a hag on it. It's not user friendly.
Yes, I've gotta figure out some way to dispel the hag's power on it.
And while one hag is dead, Zarzul at least knows that there's a few others involved.
I have spread that information around the party.
Anything else?
Let me just check the list here if people remember to put on. Otherwise, please mention if there's something they need to be identified.
Well, there's the bracelet that Albert gave you for a reward.
Oh, yeah, the bracelet.
Yeah. Once a day, it will let you cast True Strike.
Right, then, well, that's going into the sell pile.
It does require it does require attunement.
Oh man, it's a shame I'm full because I could totally use True Strike. It would really come in handy, let me tell you.
True Strike is worthless for a martial class. Because it's your action to use it.
I spent a turn fantasizing about killing him, and I got wrecked.
Yep. In your case, you fantasize about killing him twice.
Yeah.
There we go. I updated the treasury to now have one user's armband with one true strike. I guess I could also take a look at the hag heart, the weird thing that the after he broke apart.
Yeah. When you get into that, you can tell that there is a myriad of enchantments put upon this thing. There is some deep, twisted magic at work. On the bright side, none of it's triggering necromancy or revival or lingering souls or anything. So it doesn't seem like it's the core of revival for a hag. But as to its actual purpose, you're not entirely certain. Arcana with disadvantage, as you try to ascertain this with the Identify spell. This is esoteric
Ah.
magic you're getting involved in.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
have no
9's
idea.
not quite that good enough. At the least, you're certain this is not the actual hag's heart. This is not something containing its soul. There's no kind of phylactery element to it. Its actual purpose, you're not sure.
Yeah, I just wrote hag heart, magical ingredient.
Goes great on
Be
pasta.
that might be worth to bring to the gnomes.
Oh yes, that is another thing scheduled for today. But not early. So, the animals are having a seminar, as is Malgern and Rain. Castalia, what are you up to?
I'm likely going to be doing my blacksmithing work and probably trying to look. Probably helping Congrats with getting situated in the city.
Well, he appreciates the offer, but he does point out that he was just using a hotel room. You know, he does have his own funds. But he is also interested in seeing your place of work. As he brought up, his armor does need fixed.
Oh, then I'm more than happy to show him.
Yeah, he walks in stride of you through the town. Again, the morning market is bustling as hell, and there is a fairly large, giggling cloud of kobolds moving through it, purchasing just the most random little tchotchkes and knickknacks. Anything useful, practical, or nice is just left behind. They are definitely going after that weird candelabra, which actually has the form of several gnomes carved into it, dancing upon each other. Like, not dancing with each other, upon each other. Violently. There are faces of pain carved in there. So, I get the use of a room tonight as well.
Oh, of course.
Ah, good. Didn't know if it was right to bring up or anything. It was a good way to spend the morning. Aside from your friend and his screams. They gave me a bit of a look, those two. But yes, it's a bit forward, I suppose. I'll retrieve my things from the temple, and I'll help out there as best I can, and we'll meet up for lunch.
Oh, certainly.
I'll stop at the shop first so I can drop off my armor then, and get something to eat, and probably see you later the evening then.
Certainly.
And then he says it in a way that, you know, this is when you break. But he's still got quite a bit of walking to do right alongside you on the same route. And he has no idea what more to say. You look, and you can see the big lummox looking up in the air a bit, taking in the sights, trying not to look over at the devil beside him. And then he keeps walking on into the temple district. You yourself, you take the turning to head to Yosef's. And unsurprisingly, you see his two cousins sitting there, out front. They look like they haven't moved since the previous day. They look very wedged into their position, smoking on their long pipes. Meanwhile, there is a lot of clanging and banging inside. And a myriad of cursing, most of it in Dwarvish. Most of it quite extensive. Like, there is various poxes, curses, and grudges being laid at the foot and the entire family line that would spawn from these two sitting out front.
Well, then I'm gonna go in and help out.
Oh, hey, it's the last again.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Pick those up, get that over there, throw your apron on, then you help me out.
You got it.
So that's her sorted. What about the rest of you now? So Zarzul, what lessons are you trying to impart? What is your wisdom? What is your method? Don't have to get too detailed here. Just have a think.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it not to toy with things or people or be decisive.
Don't be decisive. Don't forget, though, you are telling these two wild monsters, technically animals, a lot of not to dos.
Yeah. And also some do's, as it were, do follow along.
Do comply, do conform,
Yeah,
do vote.
Stop resisting.
Well, Malgern does have the thing that pops out the rats.
That's not going to help.
It's called a hat of vermin, thank you. It's not just a rat dispenser, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it also does owls and frogs.
No, it's
Not
bats
owls,
and
bats. Yeah, bats and frogs.
frogs. Rat or frog.
Owls are vermin in other places.
I'm trying to teach stay, become the basics as well.
Now, while it's not a cat, you are trying to teach it commands. Okay.
It's totally a cat.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mm.
Hey, cats
Yeah,
know how to
even-
take commands.
Yeah, they know how to
They
take them and
understand
throw them
completely,
behind
they
them.
just don't care. It's like- Yeah,
So
cats-
let's just give it one lesson apiece. What's the one major lesson you want Pufflesworth to walk away from?
I can't help but notice how you worded that.
Yeah. To follow commands to come and stay put, and that sort of thing. Just basic movement to start with.
Yeah. He knows he can come to you for safety.
Dear.
Well, whatever Zarzul
and heading
says,
towards Zarzul is not a good picture in my mind.
well, whatever Zarzul says to do, I'd be just doing the thing to Pupplesworth. I don't think he'd probably be doing it directly. He'd probably be just telling us what to do.
Yeah,
'Cause
it's
there's
kind
two
of
of
like those
us.
obedience schools you pay for at pet shops.
Yeah, I'm just pointing out though. Pufflesworth is focusing on Zarzul. He's ignoring Rain. Lorna is listening
Even
fairly
though-
intently, but now and again she just sort of drifts off and starts to claw things. Mainly Malgern's boot.
No,
So even though I'm the one that's actually doing the teaching to Pufflesworth, he's ignoring me.
He is pointedly ignoring you. The head is just like 90 degrees off to look at Zarzul.
I direct his head back.
The body turns.
I continue turning the body.
this is getting dark.
Finally, he's just looking at you. He's just looking at your shins.
There we go. That works.
Doesn't look up.
That works.
You see him slowly sink down, and then all four legs splay out to the sides.
Well, if you want to look silly, that's your business, but as long as you do what you're supposed to do. You can have a temper tantrum all you want.
He is. He slowly flops himself onto his back, and then does it again and again a few times. You slowly feel the leash starting to try and get, pressed against the hip, starting to go around the back. As he just keeps doing this, trying to tangle you up.
I use the ring. Pufflesworth.
What?
matter?
Bored. You don't
I
want me
know.
fighting anything. I don't get to do anything. I became all
You do.
gross because you pulled me somewhere. Everything
I'm
smelt and
sorry.
tasted bad.
I know it did. I also smelt and tasted bad. I didn't enjoy that.
And you pulled me along into it.
Well, I'm sorry. Sometimes that stuff happens. But we also need to make sure once we teach the basic stuff, then we can do the fun stuff.
What?
Malgern, can I borrow a rat?
I used my hat, produced a rat, and handed it to Rain.
This would be the fun stuff you're talking about, right?
Looks up. Turns the head away. Yes.
Before we get to this stage, we have to get to the staying and going stage, because do you want to have that ugly, icky feeling again?
No.
Mm-hmm. So we need to be able to know when to say stay, so that that doesn't happen again. So sometimes these fun rats, they're fun, you want to go after them, right?
Mm. Why are you in charge?
I know you. Bufflesworth, I'm trying to teach you to be a big boy. So part of teaching you to be a big boy is to learn how to take care of yourself and how to judge situations.
He slowly hacks up a pellet.
Ugh.
Because you won't be a big boy if you go running into situations.
I'm the best, though.
You're the best little owlbear, Pufflet, but if you want to be a big owlbear one day,
Fine. But I don't want to just be pulled all the time. I want to do things. I don't get to do anything. Hello? Testing, testing. Oh,
Yeah, we can hear you. We do.
okay. Can Rena hear us? Nope, she cannot.
Okay.
She just vanished.
No, to be. And oh, no.
How much did you hear, Rena?
I said the part about waiting it out.
He's just sick. He just conveyed he's sick of getting pulled around and not being able to do anything.
I agree. I don't like pulling you around either. That's boring. That's why you need to know when you can go and when you can stay, and then we don't have to do that anymore. Because I want to let you do the fun stuff.
I want you to kill people. Go for it. Rip their face off. Go for the eyes.
Go for the eyes, Pufflesworth.
It's a long climb. Fine.
Main? There you go. Here, you want to play with the rat?
Oh, yeah.
I give him... I set the rat down relatively far away, but let the leash go. Go get him!
All right. Now we have a contest. So that's Pufflesworth. He actually managed to beat Lorna. Lorna's at that gangly stage where the limbs are just too long and there's 6 of them flailing. Pufflesworth, he's compact, a bit like a rocket, and just fucking zooms. He actually...
Wait, what was he rolling for?
Dexterity, to see if he could beat Lorna at getting the rat.
Ah, I see, okay.
So yeah, Lorna's at that awkward gangly stage, whereas Pufflesworth just a bullet. He actually crushes the rat, but he manages to snatch it up in the beak as well. As he just swallows it down in one go. And the best, as he stares at Lorna. Puffs himself up around the shoulders. And pads in a very jaunty little step away. Lorna just puts her...
Pufflesworth, come on over here.
Except Lorna puts her paw down on the leash and he just keeps treading on air.
I go over, gently take the leash from Lorna.
He's a brat.
Well, you're a bit of a brat too, you know.
She just turns her head up and walks over back to Malgurn. You're not the one she has to take this from.
Yeah, no.
I pet the cat.
No, that's her attitude.
I pet Pufflesworth.
Yes, that goes on. So, what's anyone else up to? Oh yeah, we'll do some animal handling rolls for Zarzul. So you're trying to curb Lorna's interest in random destruction.
Yep.
That would be preferable, yes.
I'll give you a bonus and say this is also to convey that Malgurn and Zarzul are ones that she's kind of a one to look to. The pack leaders. I'd say that went through pretty well. Now for Pufflesworth to convey whatever the hell Rain was going on about. Because a simple sentence is beyond her half-elven ways.
Yep.
Simple
the main
sentences are
idea was-
beneath her. They're simple.
Yes. Let me see if I can actually get the bloody sheet to do what I want.
The trick is you have to speak to them like they're a peasant.
He's willing to play along for now.
Yeah, basically what she wants is you can have the fun when I say go, and if I don't say, you have to stay.
Yeah, he's willing to try it for now, but he doesn't look very patient.
That's expected.
Yeah.
I just like to picture that Cornelius is writing a book while we're all doing this. Cornelius Sent, or Why I'm Better Than You.
He's just writing down these events so he can get some fucking royalties on the next Heroes of Van Dalen chapter. And then the fat, ugly clawed Rain, enfeeblest of both her species.
No, it's gotta because of Cornelius. Cornelius is not a poet in any way whatsoever, so it's gotta be incredibly fucking dry.
Yeah, it's like a first draft screenplay thing. It's just the exact details. No armpits.
It's gonna be basically like every student who took classic literature just because of extra credit, and it's like I don't understand a goddamn. And then it just looks it up on the internet. Oh, that's what that fucking meant.
Well, also, set interior. Rain converses. Malgurn converses also. I don't fucking listen to them. So, if your passes, Castalia, give me a roll on your blacksmithing. We'll be using strength. You're just doing some brute work right now.
Alrighty.
You are bashing in nails and making horseshoes.
Oh god, they updated it again.
Yusuf is really proud that he's actually getting some horseshoe orders.
Nope.
Nah, that's fine. It's just grunt work right now. You don't exceed the quota or anything, but you do a steady job.
Roll 20 updated again. And all
Did
these black boxes around stuff.
Weird.
Extra thick black boxes for some reason. Not around other stuff. It's weird.
What's that again under? Oh, that one doesn't have it. Yeah, none of the sheets I have tools because they're dumb animals or the enemy. But yeah, time passes nicely. You earn yourself a nice shiny 5 silver. Anything else you're inspecting, Cornelius, or up to? So far you've taken 2 hours out of your day. Well, sort of free.
I think I'm gonna. Cornelius gonna try and go to the bar he avoided yesterday, and try and figure out what house the handkerchief belonged to. Because it feels like this guy knows a lot about stuff in the town.
It's a bustling enough little effort. You do notice a couple of, as you're stepping out of a house and moving up through the street, behind you can see there's a fair number of horsemen, a couple of knights, a lot of men just on foot, armor bashed and bloodied. Looks like an encampment is coming back from the front. But it's not a huge procession this way, it's just about 12 to 20 sort of guys. But it does feel a bit annoying because you're walking along and you're trying to be at leisurely pace and you just hear the incessant clopping and hoofing, guys grunting with pain, and just a general building noise behind you that's threatening to take up all the lanes of traffic. But dip into a side street or two, just head along, and you make it back in the Temple District, where there are people going into the slum district again. All the fences are gone. None of the great wall of darkness. It doesn't look great. It actually looked better when it was just blackness. Because, man, those buildings are crummy.
Mm-hmm.
Especially after all this time of all this time of being left untended to. There's a lot of crumbling, there's a lot of fungus. It's generally unpleasant to look at, but the other side of the street is quite nice and affluent looking, so so you enter into the bar. It's very early in the morning, but there's still quite a crowd there. Most of the same crowd that were there when Malgern was in the place. A few cubicles are asleep, but the barman himself looks completely fresh as a daisy. Although it's still a bit of a sight to see such a rotund elven man. He doesn't really look up or anything whenever you step in. He's just busy polishing glasses and rejigging some of the bottles.
Good morning there.
Oh, one of the heroes. Sit on down, sit on down.
Thank you.
You didn't take advantage of the gratuity last night.
Yes.
But the first drink's still on the house. What do you have?
Well, what do you have of your red wines?
Ah, wine, gentlemen. Let me see. I forgot to actually get to that notepad. Hang on. Completely forgot. Usually I have about 6 or 7 notepads open at once. This one's in character bits. Here we go. Well, let's see now. The Dark Rose, 1300. There's the Coliphon Annual. And the Scale Grape Red. The Ruddy Cheek is usually red, but a few bottles sneak out as white.
Oh, how come that is? How come some of them are white?
Oh, well, it's a bit of it's a halfling endeavor, and they don't really do quality control. Well, they don't do strict product control, they just do quality control. If it's nice, if it's pleasant, they'll ship it. So they just use whatever grapes they can, and whatever meets their qualifications gets sent out and shipped to me. Whereas the others, they like to focus on the blends. I'd recommend the Dark Rose 1300. That's made local.
Very well, I shall take your suggestion then.
Alrighty then. And yeah, he actually gets out not just the bottle, but a decanter as well. That'll take a little bit to sit. For the rest, you can just pour them straight into the glass and they're perfectly fine. But this one, it's a bit fancier.
Of course.
So what brings you to the bar in the morn?
Well, you seem to know a lot about the town, and well, let's just say I recently acquired this, and I showed him the handkerchief.
Yes.
I wonder if you knew which house this belonged to.
How did you acquire it?
Well, I do believe one of the lady knights riding past tossed it.
Oh, I see. A lady's favor. Well, it's best if you keep a hold of it. If you're lucky, she'll come back to retrieve it. If you're unlucky, her father's men will be there to retrieve it, and they will ask politely for it, but very strongly. What you've just got there is, it's a nice little boon for the crowd. Doesn't usually mean a whole lot, I'm afraid to say. She was riding on the horse off to battle, right?
I would assume so, yes.
Ah, yes. Lady's favor like that, it's done for a bit of good luck. Both for the person who receives and for her. It's bad luck if it's not received at all. If she would hand it to you at, say, a function, a dance, or a dinner, that's when you can start taking a bit more of an interest, but for now that was just a token of luck.
Well,
as for the house, let's see, they usually have some little mark here. Let's see here. Ah, yes, it's very faint. This is quite an old one here. You can see it's just barely a different shade from the rest of it. It looks like the boar hens. They're, God, what industry were they part of? They're not part of the fisheries or the trade. I think they might be... Yes, I think they were, farms, cattle. They owned a lot of those lands.
see.
So, that must have been Helvetica, yes. She's the only daughter that would be round the right age for it. Everyone's just a spry. Or just a sprig. So there you go, you've got the name as well.
Well, I certainly hope that I brought her some luck on the battlefield then.
Oh, yes, indeed. And as said, you got a nice coin toss chance of either she'll pick it up or her father's men will. Although the boar hens are generally a nice family. They actually make tours of the businesses they own, the lands they protect.
So how exactly would they go around picking this up?
Oh, well, you may be familiar with the spell Find Object.
I see.
That's why they've got a little bit of a unique mark to them. Not, although, as I said, this one's quite old and worn, but hereditary gifts and such, it's all very important to them. Tradition. Plus side, you may have been only the 4th or 5th man to have it. Well, from the lady's hands herself. That's probably been tossed around by many gentlemen. But Helvetica herself, she's only recently joined the knighthood.
Well, since you have the bottle opened, can you tell me anything about the other houses here?
A little bit in pieces. There's the Fern Wests. Bit of a mixed family, that one. They just spring to mind because they actually are part of. They do a lot of the wine shipping, especially from Catalai, and then there's a few bits from Gerard as well. That's where most of them come from. Think the patriarch currently is Albaref Fernwest. I think that's the gentleman. Haven't met him actually, but they're not as personable, so generally I've dealt with just their delegates really. If you look at there. There's Lamarches. Lamarche, they were they were textiles they used to run a lot of. They've actually lost quite a lot of their business now. They're sort of what's the right term for the families anyway? They're dwindling away at this point, so not prime marriage material, I've heard.
Family in decline then.
Decline only monetarily. They still have knights, they still have exploits, but it's just they don't have the lands anymore. The Debneys, they've gone quite far down. A lot of their territory was out to the far west, and now that's Orkland. Or not far west, apologies, far east. I've actually heard that a few of the Debney's manors are up for grabs right now, although you have to pry it from the orcs themselves to get it. Don't know any names there. The Malost are quite a nice family. Again, they're mostly knights. They're not really a whole lot of business. And then...
What was that name again?
That's the Milost. Milost. Milost.
Lost. Okay, got it.
And we have, let's see now. There's the Eustons. I'm trying to remember a few of these ones. Like, the names come up, but normally they don't have any effect down in just my little bar. But Euston, know, I can definitely tell you, they are Azales. Straight up. Always have been, always will be. Although they also do a fair bit of property down in the entertainment district. And then the Toroth. That's the main fishery, and like we have the shipping fleet, the ferries that run constantly, but any fishing boat tends to sail with their emblem on it. I believe yeah, she might actually have ties to one of the southern kingdoms. Arabiel Toroth. I think that's the one who owns it. I think her husband recently died, actually. I remember it was being some deal around that, although you wouldn't see it on her face. Then, of course, there's Renenbach. Everyone's favourite of the nobles. Very popular, very sociable, and his many wives and husbands. Have you had dealing with the little kobolds?
Yes, we had a few chance meetings with them.
It's amazing how well he blends into them. And his crowd, they're always... He just unleashes his little harem, the little gaggle into the market. They're terrors, but they pay well.
Certainly a colourful character, I must say.
Then there is... Let's see now. Beauclerc. Beauclerc family. You know, I know the name. I can't attach anything to them. I'm thinking they're Cerule, but I don't think they do any. Maybe they just own part of this temple district. The Fallowwinters. They're not as big these days. It tends to just the son that's a bit noteworthy. The mother is very much withdrawn, and the father, of course, big reputation. But they're very minor nobles. Usually, just they have the title, they have the house. They don't really have anything else. Strange that way. I mean, you'd think all the things their father did for the place. Malachek's much the same, although they're on the Azale side, and then trying to think now. Oh well, I think this wine has started to breathe at last. Oh, there is one that's a bit strange. It's the Smythe family. That one isn't either of the knightly orders. That one actually... It's kind... what's the right way to put this? It's a noble family, but they deal entirely with the temples, with the Crusaders. It's a family that has high religious position in a hereditary format. I don't think you have anything like that in the coast.
Not that that's something that comes to mind.
Yeah, so that family is where you get the archdeacons and the grand priests. Now, apparently there's been a bit of a kerfuffle about that. I've heard on very, very convincing sources, sometimes even reliable, that the archdeacon himself is missing.
Oh.
Yes. Oh.
We had...
Well, it means there's no one to crown our potential new king.
Ah, so that's where the real fuffle about all this is.
Well, it's one of them, yes. That's just what I've heard. He might just be in hiding. Wouldn't blame him. Our current claimant king is a bit terrifying. I mean, I praise the heroes here in these halls, but that man is terrifying. He's also just terrifying to pronounce. Let me see if I can remember this. He is the Baron Volef Tristronia Kulament Hofner III.
What was the first name?
Volef. Well, allow me to spell it for you. Let's see here. I'll do that by cheating. It's called copy-paste.
Oh, thank you. Guess I'm not the fastest typer
Yes.
either.
That man is the head of the Azales. He's also one who, some who are not charitable would say he killed the king to take his throne. Others would say he merely is the man to take the throne and the king died through other circumstances. I say he probably trod on the king to stand on the throne. But he is quite a legend. Have you heard of a chimera?
Of a chimera?
Yeah, just the creature in general, the species.
I do believe so.
It's said there's a room in his home that has the heads of all those, that has numerous heads of those creatures lining an entire wall. The 3 heads of each one of the beasts just filling it. And he is well established as a dragon slayer. Though I don't know which types, details don't come that far. I do remember, though, 3 years ago, they did have a procession where where a skull was wheeled into the noble estate. No one would talk about it, though. Apart from, he did this amazing thing. They wouldn't tell the details, just that he struck it down.
Wait, if you say he has the heads mounted of a chimera, how do they not know there's just from 3 different beasts?
Well, I assume he kept some of the neck, maybe. I don't know. I haven't seen the room myself. It's still, if you fight a goat that large, that's still rather impressive. Not to mention a lion that size. Well, although the dwarf commander of the Azales, he's sort of a step down. That man, Karagrim, amazing. Now, his greatest trophy is one of the great... I should explain it further. You know about the kingdom to the north? It used to be.
I've heard tales here and there.
They had a breed of creature there. It looked like a lion. Are you familiar with that creature? A large cat usually grows a lot of hair around the cheeks and face.
I do believe so.
Yeah, you've seen a few stuffed specimens. They grow to a vast size in that kingdom, purest white. But they get they get larger than a giant. Truly Herculean beasts, just vast muscle savagery. A few used to come down from the mountains and just maul through entire villages by themselves. They were a startling creature. I think about a century ago is when it happened. Maybe more, maybe less, but that's a good round number to go with for this. One of them snuck down from the mountains, attacked this village far over to the east. Can't remember the name, but it had a protected glade with a unicorn and whatnot, and it had this foul beast just try to charge through and rip its head off. Well, tried to. Karagrim was among the people defending it, and he slew the beast, took its head as trophy, and took its pelt as, well, I assume several different outfits. There's quite a lot of it. but they are just vast beasts. Like this bar counter alone, that's about the length of several of its fingers, but not the entire paw. And he took one of those down single-handed.
See. Quite impressive.
Unfortunately, he's also known as a bit of a dick, so I can't really praise him in the halls. I like personable heroes, like Ermom. He was a great character.
Yeah, sadly, great war prowess usually doesn't always translate that well into great personality either.
It does happen quite a bit. That's why the adventurers are so good. They need to have the charisma, otherwise they can't really bring any interest or any interesting jobs to them. I believe this is now breathed enough, so let us enjoy.
Let us.
And it's quite fine. This is actually a drink you would put on your own shelf. Which is surprising, considering the bar you're sitting in and the general company who are drooling on their chairs and tables.
Yeah, but I have a feeling this guy probably have a very varied clientele.
Don't forget to remind your friend that there's a drinking contest tonight. Your dwarven friend, Malgern.
Yes, he might not always remember a lot of things, but I think this is one thing he will definitely remember.
Well, it's just him and his friends tied one on. It was wonderful to see.
But I shall definitely remember them, and thank you very much for the wine. You wouldn't happen to have any more bottles, would you?
I do, but they run 150 a bottle.
I
Gold.
see.
I'm sure you have the cash to spare. I'm just warning you up front. If I have to sell them, they are quite pricey.
Well, I most certainly do. Give me a bottle to take with me.
By the way, 1300. It's currently the 1800s right now.
Oh, jeez.
Yes, I can part with a few. So yes, here we go. One bottle of the 1300. As I said, make it locally here. Elven Winery, just to the north.
Just enough, you say.
Outside the city walls, but they have a lot of their own natural defenses.
This is just from this is not actually from the magical pouches. This is actually just some of the coin that Cornelius currently have on him.
It's a lot easier that way. It's less awkward.
Well, actually, also because a certain necromancer forgot to get the rest of his payment.
He didn't. He was very smart to get the fuck out of there. That was way more important.
Yeah. That's what I mean. But I told you before then that I actually fished out cash before we went back into the cursed area because I couldn't take out gold.
Alrighty, and we'll skip forward a little bit. Congrats does indeed.
Cornelius might pump the barkeep for information on tint wines.
No, he doesn't really want to know. There's only so much he could deal with having to deal with his brother yesterday. He does not want to know anymore. Also, before then, I think actually Cornelius want to go to the blacksmith that Castelli has been working at.
Alrighty,
Okay.
after a fair bit of light chatter, it is about lunchtime as you start to walk, and you glance around you a little bit and notice a very large figure coming behind with a big burlap sack over his shoulder. Congrats raising a hand to wave slightly as he joins alongside you as you both head down out of a temple district.
Ah.
Hello.
So, hello. See, you're packed up. Are you about to move on?
In, I suppose. I'm dropping most of this off at the blacksmith.
Ah, yes, I can see that there might be some dents that have to be taken care of.
Well, also he ripped through his straps and some of the plating when my arm came off.
Yeah.
And then the rest, So, what were you doing this day?
Oh, just mostly getting to know a little bit more about the houses around here. Haven't really had the chance. Getting a little more feel for.
Well, I mean, we
Who's
just
in
passed where the
charge around
kobolds
here?
lived, and then, I mean, most of this place is stores here along this street, not many houses.
Oh, I was in the bar over there. Very gentle fellow. Also good supply.
Oh, yeah, drank with him a few times. Very chatty.
Certainly talk your ear off. Yes.
But, sincere, it feels.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He definitely appreciates people who take actions in their own hands.
Certainly not very sincere. Certainly without any filter. At least not for the people within ear range. I assume.
Well, you have a popular place like that, you've got the freedom to speak your mind, really.
So,
Yes.
what will you be doing now?
Oh, well, I mean, I spent quite a few hours there helping heal the wounded, get rid of some diseases. Feeling a bit tapped out right now. So I thought I'd go drop this off at the blacksmith and then have lunch with Castalia.
Ah, I see. Well, if you don't mind, I would like to have a few words with her before you do so. It won't take long.
Oh, yes, alright. I'll go to the market and have a look around then.
Oh well, you don't have to go on a detour for that. Like I said, it won't be very long.
Alright then. And as you're walking along, you notice that a lot of the natural sunlight that's filtering through in this cold grey morning is getting blocked out by him standing beside you. But you arrive at the blacksmith.
Oh,
Yes?
okay, they'll just randomly fill out. Okay.
Yeah. But yes, you stand outside Joseph's finery.
Ah, so this is the place. And yeah, I'm assuming someone is sitting outside.
Yeah, both the dwarf cousins are just sitting there. They have not moved. Which is strange because their pipes are restocked. But they really look like every part of them, from elbow to wrist, is just sat in the one place. And they just both watch you. It's like that. It's like the old Scooby-Doo cartoons. Just the eyes move as you walk along.
Ah. Noon, gentlemen. Would a tiefling be working in here?
And
Go
you
by the name of
see-
Castalia?
You see a very poor attempt at a smoke circle blown outwards. Not at you, just blown outwards. Yeah.
All right. I just walk in. Can always feel like it's not going to be worth my time to continue.
And you can see her bashing away with the hammer and tongs. Sparks flying everywhere, the forge itself raging. Yosef out of sight right now because he's behind it stoking. You just get the idea of a dwarf throwing wood. The whole
Hello
place
there, Castalia.
smells of labor, manual labor. It's a novelty to you.
Cornelius, how are you doing today?
Uh, doing all right.
Hmm.
Finally find some decent wine in the city. Bumped
Well, that's
into
good.
tall friend here.
Hmm. I
Anyway,
give a nod.
Oh no,
Congrats.
Congrats didn't follow him in.
oh, she's just standing in the doorway or standing outside.
He's out of sight.
Okay.
What can I do for you?
Well, you see, as I was walking about the town, I was considering you like to make the items of spectacular use and such, correct?
Well, yes. I
Well,
like to forge.
well, I was kind of considering. Have you ever considering making some sort of prosthetics?
I
Because I
fold
see a
my
lot of
arms and rub my chin a bit. Prosthetics? You mean like replacement limbs?
yes. And I was wondering because I was gonna go to the Foggle comps later on to figure out if we were to deliver prosthetics, how much it would actually take to enchant them to help people.
Hey, I was wondering why there was no hammering going on. Who the fuck are you? You got business with my lass here.
Ah, pardon me. I will not take much more of your time.
Good. Joseph remains
Hmm.
standing there. So,
Yes. So,
what can I do you for?
actually, as I kind of look behind, yeah, I believe there's someone out here. I'll be getting him inside very soon. I think he'll have a lot more work. I just needed a word with your employee here.
Ah, well, the lunch break's in 5.
All right. Well, Costello, you can take it into consideration.
Ah, she can.
Shouldn't-
He's already
I'm-
approaching a little closer to you.
I must
Alright.
admit, I did not expect such a request, but I am very pleased by it. Yes, I will definitely consider it.
Oh, aye,
Alright,
feel free to
well-
turn into a proper written commission and we can help you out for a stable fee. If you'll just, if there's no business at all.
Yes, I understand.
Good, good. As he continues to walk closer to you.
Yes. Yeah. Just keep banging up backwards. And
On you
as
go,
I
there.
reach
Ready
the
to go,
door,
no
"Alright."
time wasting. Thank you very much. Please come again
to reach
at your
the door.
earliest convenience.
As I reach the door, I can just go, all right, Kurgats, I believe it is your turn.
As he walks past, there's a bit of a quiet, rumbling snicker. Just seeing how sort of put out of place you were.
And I just answer that, well, have fun, you two. And I just walk.
Oh, excellent! A paying customer! Said notably loud enough.
And yeah, can you just walk back to the house/inn/brothel?
Well, it depends. It's not a brothel yet. It was. Yeah, congrats is there, gets his armor sorted. So, should we get something to eat then?
Yeah, absolutely.
And as they immediately walk out, like it's moments after you took a few steps, Cornelius, you want to join us?
Who was asking?
Congrats. Because he was just in and out.
Oh, well, if it's not any obtrusion.
Castali, you do notice there's a bit of a harsh look from Yosef on Congrats when he turns around and walks out. You can... Were you able to finish up your talk?
Well, I mean, I can wait until she come back. I imagine you two might already have had plans that, might not have involved a third party.
Not really. I'll get us something to eat and you guys finish up your chat. Chicken, right?
Well, okay, I shall accept your invitation then.
Alright. I'll be back in a bit. And man, once he's not there, you'd really notice that the presence is missing of such a big guy. He's about 7 foot and 4 feet across. The two of you are back alone on the lunch break just outside the market.
I'm standing there with Kirkatz, or...
No, with Castalia.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, basically, literally, whenever you walked out, that's when Yosef decided, fuck it, lunch break. He just didn't want no malingerers.
Not yet,
Yep.
but...
Go ahead.
Sorry.
I have to admit, it was strange to hear you mention prosthetics.
Well, I was just thinking, well, everything that goes on, everyone wants some sort of magical arm or a weapon or something, but there's also some of the people who get wounded or injured here. There's still those who need to work around here, but they can't fight any longer. And I imagine prosthetics are gonna be a valuable item for everyone, both economically and for the improvement of lives.
Oh, absolutely. And what's more is we can help a lot of people with that.
The only thing I do not know, I can imagine you would know what it would cost to make the material part with iron or steel or whatever material be needed. I do need to figure out still is the enchantment.
Hmm.
If it can be cheaper to do so, because I know that a lot of clerical magic, it is not cheap to regrow limbs. What was that? And well, I figured it might also be an interesting challenge.
Hmm. Well, there are definitely some principles with armor smithing that can be seen. You have to take note of the joints of the various areas, so it could likely be used to somewhat work with how an arm should bend. Hmm. There is also would need to do a little bit of research, though. Still,
yes.
I think it would be quite possible. Would either of us have heard of animated armors?
You would have heard a little bit about them, not the full details. You just know that they're adventure stories of suits of armor and weapons that have come alive of their own volition.
Hmm. Then likely, if you have a little time, could you look up any tales that have circulated around the taverns about armors that have gone about moving themselves? That would certainly be a starting place.
Certainly. Of course, the best part would be if I get somehow a hold of books that might be more relevant to it. But I mean, I guess start somewhere.
Hmm. I'll be happy to look into it.
Thank you. That's all I can really ask. Now, what do you want for lunch?
Hmm. Uh, Well, it doesn't have to be too filling, and I'm not exactly picky when it comes to food. Um, do you have any preferences?
Well, you could probably say I'm the quite opposite. Let's see if we can find something in the midway, shall we?
Certainly.
Although as you start to enter the marketplace, you do notice among the rabble, Congrats is there, returning to you with 4 fried chickens.
Well, I think we've got salt for us.
1 each, right?
Yes, I think that should be. Well, I don't know if Castelia and I can eat one whole by yourself. How big are these chickens?
They're just normal size, just a nice medium chicken.
Yeah, I imagine since Castelia said that she was not particularly hungry, and what would I think we just have a half a chicken each.
Congrats, you see, just downs a whole one.
Mm.
Just puts it in the jaw and just gnashes until it's gone.
Hmm.
So,
Do you get
hmm?
do you get much do you get much flavor out of it, or is it just not preceditating a bit of chicken before each bite?
Yeah. I mean, I'd rather it be seasoned up and all, but as I was looking around the place, I don't have the proper spices on hand.
Hmm.
Like sort of potence. What would you say? Makes your eyes water, that kind of thing.
Ah,
It's not just because I'm a fire breather. It's my clan. We use a lot of heavy things, a lot of dried chilies. It was good in those lands. You needed to keep your body temp up.
chilies, you say? Hmm. Must be from quite far away then.
Well, usually they came on the transport ships from. I think it was from Waterdeep. No, it came from Port Naranzaro down in Chuld, then went to Waterdeep, and then came up near Brenninkos
Ah,
on their way to
So-
Icewind Dale. So we picked up a lot of hot climate stuff from them. So, what will you be up to for the rest of the day?
well, right now, I do believe that I have some research to be done.
I will likely stay a little longer at the blacksmith.
I don't
Alright,
assume you. I don't assume you Kagets have heard anything about magical armors.
I thought a couple.
In... Oh, you have.
There was
I don't.
yeah.
I don't suppose it was somewhere nearby.
Oh no, far north of your town, Castelia, round about the mountains, there was a Duergar, the nasty dwarves. They had a couple in one of their dens. It was a difficult thing. It's very tough. I mean, you're beating up armor with nothing inside. So we pried it apart. Kept moving for quite a while. Yeah, dangerous.
I guess you see, with what the situation we found you in, and we can see a lot of people around here, though it seems like the shirt must have done something with your arm.
Well, it's
Kind of-
still it's going to take a while before it's fully healed up.
Well, yes, but you have your arm back nonetheless.
I mean, they told me
Well, the pe-
a full week without any strenuous activities, although haven't kept fully to that. As he gives a slight glance at Castalia. But after that, it should be right as rain. Apparently, properly potent blessed clerics, they can actually just attach it, although it takes a lot of power. These guys, it's still at the risk. It's still very weak right now.
Yes, but I imagine not a lot of people would have the funds to be able to get such a miracle happen to them.
750 gold.
So I figured I would take a look in how maybe to make some durable prosthetic, maybe get them enchanted.
Suppose it's an option, yeah. The second chicken just disappears down his mouth. Well, those magic armors we fought, they were malevolent. They had an intent behind them. Don't know what you do to sort of have them under a person's control. I mean, I have heard a lot of wizards with magic brooms and stuff that can defend their towers. And that's still sort of under command and not really just moving with what they're intending to do. I know that there's not much wizardry here either.
Yes, I heard about how they kind of got themselves rid of their wizards.
They did?
Or at least their school.
Oh. I just thought they hadn't bothered setting one up.
Yeah, from what we heard, as I point to the mountain that we found out wasn't always there. Yeah, apparently that wasn't always there.
Ah.
As we found out when there were arms sticking out of it.
That's an odd feature. Undead? Or constructs like a golem?
No, I would imagine undead. They tried to grab at several of our companions. I can't remember if actually they managed to grab Thalia.
Nope, just Rain.
Yeah.
Just Rain when she went for the shiny thing.
Yeah.
Well, I could see why they got rid of him, man.
Still got a question what could bring about an event from anyone to think that was a good idea. How desperate someone has to be for that to be a good idea.
War? It's usually what brings out those kind of things. I mean, you've seen the guys running off to it. They were doing that when I arrived. Just whole bands of mercenaries and knights on horseback just charging off to fight orcs. Kinda glad that the nude won that argument. I was putting forth the idea that we go out there, just earn some easy money, just fight right, but he was intrigued by this thing going on in the slums. So, not great for him, but we did a great good there. Far better than just against marauders and blood frenzy.
I suppose so.
It's alright, it's not a touchy subject now. I said my goodbyes. That cost me another 150 gold. The priest here really liked to shake the collection box, huh?
Oh yeah.
That's kind of a novel thing. I don't remember that from Waterdeep.
The way he shuffled that thing around, you would almost think he started out as a bard.
But their power's legitimate, so gods haven't turned their back on them for this activity. Maybe that says a bit more than it should. Oh, I should think about what I'm going to do tonight. I'll be back at the house later, Castalia.
All right. Take your time.
Oh, should we tell them about the appointment?
Hmm. Yes.
Castalia took your stuffed friend to the Thuckle Clumps.
Ah, yes, he did talk about that he wants to do so.
They wouldn't take them.
No.
And the reasons are apparently very hush-hush.
I see.
He said he'd come round today.
Mm-hmm.
Well then. Well, I guess I wouldn't have to go past the Foggle Clubs today then. Guess I will just be able to ask my question when he arrives, should the time be there.
Oh, yeah, that will be handy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I will be heading back. Do enjoy the rest of the lunch together.
Thank you.
And, thanks for the dinner.
Oh, no problem.
And Cornelius just walks off.
Does Cornelius understand Draconic?
Yes.
Yeah, he hears a few little sweet nothings. Thankfully not directed at him.
Yeah, I mentioned it.
Alright, let's hop to the animal farm. Malgurn, Zarzul, Rain, what the fuck are you guys up to? If anything.
I'm hoping I've got around to roll over.
Wait. I just imagine that if that was the case, that it had to be Draconic for I hate to see you go, but I love watching you walk away. There we go. Okay, you can continue on.
So you were teaching one of them to roll over? Who? Rain or Malgurn?
I knew it. God damn it.
I was expecting that, yeah.
Yeah, but we still laughed.
Yeah, no, well, I was hoping for a pair of kitties to roll over at the same time in
Okay,
synchronization.
Well, Malgurn rolls over.
There is such an almighty clang. Because he goes from a standing position to rolling over.
Yeah.
So you're trying to get Lorna and Pufflesworth unified?
Well, Lorna can unify with herself. So there's two of them,
okay.
isn't there? There's the real
there's-
one and the...
The figment, yeah. You're trying to teach her to roll over.
Just basic obedience stuff at this point.
Ah.
It seems to be working on Malgurn anyway. This is a positive.
Well, it's actually quite handy to be able to tell a comrade, get down.
Yep.
This could be useful.
Next thing you know, Zarzul will have a water bottle. No Melger.
Yeah. When he's got a concussion, his ears are pounding and bleeding, but he'll know the distinct sound of "get down."
Yeah, and knows to say what?
Right after the boulder.
Yeah. He's also one of the short ones already, so he should be semi-fine.
Well, going prone puts range attack at disadvantage. It's actually quite handy. And then get you behind cover that normally wouldn't block. Going prone isn't always a bad thing.
Indeed.
It's fitting she's the one to say that.
I'm glad I kept my mouth shut for a change.
Well, we don't know
Wow, that's
about
rare
yours
for
at
you.
all. We have no idea. Maybe she just sat and talked with the Tabaxi. Maybe she learned about the history of Vistani instead of rolling in the hay.
Mm-hmm.
No one's ever going to ask her. Because privacy's a good thing. Anyway. So you're just trying to teach basic discipline, basic commands.
Yep.
Roll animal handling.
Okay.
Let's see how well Lorne is listening.
Oh dear.
It's not great. She's getting a bit bored.
This is expected.
Yeah. She's finding more interesting things to do. Like climbing up onto Malgern's shoulders and just sitting there. She's she feels kind of dense now.
How big is she?
Like kind of like bobcat size now.
Okay, so I can't just scruff her and put her down. Shit.
Well, you can. You're strong.
Yeah. If she doesn't
But-
climb up on me, I kind of just scruff her and put her back down.
But if you hold her out at arm's length, her paws are already on the floor. Like from your height.
I was gonna say, yeah, I'm not that tall, so that makes sense.
Yeah. She's pretty big now. Rain, what are you up to?
I'm just trying to do the exact same thing they are.
So you're scruffing Pufflesworth and putting him on the ground.
No, I'm trying to teach Pufflesworth the sit, stay thing. And then when he does what he should, then I throw a ball for him because I had the balls. Then I
Oh, you
left
have the
house.
balls, do you?
Fuck off! I knew that was coming.
You could always try your luck on the bracelet.
No.
There's a knock on the
I had to
door
think
to
about that
interrupt
for a
this
second.
playtime with animals. Cornelius, as you
Hello?
ran through the guardhouse and along the street, you can see standing outside the building 4 knights, 2 in blue, 2 in pink, and then between them are 2 gentlemen in finery that are kind of pushing and shoving and yelling at each other quite a bit. But
Right,
now and
goes
again,
down
one
to
of
the
them
door.
dashes up to stand at the door, and the other and then gets pulled away by the other one. And there's quite a few frantic knocks.
Cornelius gonna stand a bit to the side and watch what is gonna happen. They're gonna
You-
immediately start to.
Yeah, Cornelius, you've got a fair assumption of what this is.
Hmm.
It's harmless, but it is amusing to watch.
Yeah, Rain goes over to answer the door.
As you open it up, you also see the spectacle of the 4 knights, and then the 2 dudes in finery, who look to be about 15 and 16. Just sort of scuffling around, but they're making sure not to wreck each other's outfit. Finally, one manages to
She
trip
blinks
up
a
the
couple
other.
times.
Ah, yes! The lady of the house, I presume.
One of the individuals that live here. How can I help you?
He snaps his finger at one of the knights who brings up a trumpet, who blares it very loudly and off tune. You have been invited. Hang on 1 second as he brings out a scroll case and hands it to you. By the Lord Debney. All the details are on that parchment. The other one getting
Oh.
up, dusting himself off, casually walking past his rival, but also kicks him square in the shin. Or you could have a proper evening at the Boarhen household. You have also been invited there. A proper invite for improper family.
She calmly looks between the two and
Can
and
she
takes the
see
both.
Cornelius on the far side? He's trying not to laugh at this point.
Probably not, actually.
She takes the two and quite calmly. I am very grateful for your invite, and I am quite sure that we shall review both of them, and we will get back to you shortly.
Yes, just leave it with them, with the guards at the gate of the noble quarter. We expect your answer forthwith. We expect your answer gracefully in the time you feel it takes to make such a decision, good lady. Might I say, you look splendid this evening. Look splendid this morning, it's not even past noon. Fuck you.
She looks incredibly amused and says, "Why, thank you ever so much. I hope you have a pleasant day."
They don't even know you're there anymore. They've gotten the chiding at each other as they both have to walk back the same route to the noble quarter.
And, yeah, she second they get out of sight, she shuts the door and starts laughing.
Cornelius, you can see the expression on the knights as they stomp past. They did not sign up for this shit at all. And it just shows.
Yeah, at this point, Cornelius decides to walk inside. Well, that was quite the show.
That's a bit of an understatement. We have two competing invites.
Yes, should probably be able to do a little more of a in-depth information about each houses. Just happened to have a very rather interesting conversation.
Oh?
Well, wait until around dinner time. Meanwhile,
I'm
you could
wondering
go.
if we should divide and conquer, or if we should pick and choose.
Well, I do believe we have other things gonna happen today and later on, so might as well get everything done at once.
Fair.
Once everyone is here, so we do not need to repeat ourselves.
You do notice that the names are different on each of the invites. One proclaims Mr. Cornelius sent and Mrs. Rain sent, while the other proclaims Mrs. Castalia Vontalia and Mrs. Rain Vontalia.
Neat.
She just kind of looks at the both of them. And then she turns to Cornelius. And then just points to the one that has the scent stuff. I suggest we go to the one that doesn't think that this is the case.
And then you think back to the fact you signed up with only one name below one of them, so they just assumed. Everyone else had a surname.
Yep.
Well, I can't help but notice that your name is second in both, so it assumes in both cases that you are the, in quotation mark from said, the wife.
Oh,
You gotta admit, if you look at Castalia and Rain side by side, you'd think Castalia is the husband. Even in the dancer outfit.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, speaking of, I believe you have a problem that, have you done any more research on your lovely little problem?
On which problem in particular? Oh, right, my brother.
Yeah.
No, not as of yet. Figured I needed 1 day off before then.
That's fair enough.
Trust me, he's not gonna go any further right now. Now that he thinks he has a lifeline. Anyway, what have you been up to here?
It is Pufflesworth and what's yours called? Malgern?
Lorna.
Lorna. It's Pufflesworth and Lorna Day.
I see. It's not always this big.
She is now.
Day by day.
She's been getting progressively bigger.
Yeah, I would probably suggest that you intensify the course.
Well, they're doing a fairly decent job.
All right, like to roll insight on Rain.
Well,
Wow.
it has to be. It has to be competed with. Are you gonna roll deception?
No.
Oh, there's a Sally token.
She
There
means
we-
that exactly as she means it.
You pick up
So
on her
what did you
true
say
meaning.
is- Yeah.
I've got movement on Pufflesworth.
You have
But I think that's
movement
more because he wants to play along right now.
Mm.
So let's just hope we can keep him wanting to have movement.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Malgern, I was asked to remind you of a drinking competition tonight.
Drinking. Um, I might have time for that. Kind of looking at Zarzul like I can go, right? Like we're not gonna do this all day.
I can go to the party, Mom.
Yeah.
There's only so much training Lorna can handle at a time.
She's already grown too bored.
Apparently, Malgern can handle less.
That does remind me, once we're
yes.
done with this, Cornelius, I did want to see if you wanted to assist me with something.
Oh. What would that be?
Well, I need to look into that hand that we've retrieved from the lovely hag.
Ah, yes, a fair warning. They might cause a bit of headache.
I'm not
Think the
horribly
hag-
surprised.
I mean, as in, it feels like a knife is getting skewered through your brain, kind of headache.
Oh, I've been through worse. Recently, in fact.
Ah, yes, I sadly do recall that.
Not as sad as I am.
I will agree on that.
Look on the bright side. You'll never look worse.
It's a
That's
challenge.
That's not much of a bright side.
I do have to wonder if the kind of protection that are on these items can be simply dispelled, but I do not know if that would also destroy whatever magical properties on them as well.
I don't think it would have any effect.
It is a generally known thing that if you're powerful enough to dispel the curse on an object, you also get rid of a magical effect on it.
Well, I suppose I could give the creepy hand a look.
Yes, I do want to look at that with you, though. I have a bit more insight on the specific incident.
I see. Do hope you will elaborate once we start looking at it.
Of course.
And with that, can you start walking up towards his office, waiting for until Rain is going to start looking at the hand, since he wants to be part of it.
Yep. And then I go back to working with Pufflesworth.
Cornelius sits there twiddling his thumbs, thinking he was going to be doing something useful today.
He will, but there's other more important things. Correction, more pressing things. Because I'm pretty sure Cornelius doesn't want Pufflesworth running rampant through the battlefield.
So what's the basic thing you're trying to convey to Pufflesworth here?
I'm trying to convey the idea that if he stays and actually listens to me, that I'll let him do the fun things.
Ammo handling, roll it.
Try to think. I'm not used to this low DPI.
Yep, he's on board, but still, it's got to be proven to him very quickly that this is worth his time.
Yep.
But now you're freed up.
I'm just trying. Yep.
Because you guys have just spent most of your day talking to your imaginary animals.
And it was worth it. Maybe.
Yeah, I got some positive rolls there. That's worth.
We'll see. So you're going to examine the hand now.
Correct. Rain would go retrieve it from her room and bring it to Cornelius. Knocking politely at the door, she does not barge in like a heathen.
Droop is silently in study.
Just continue on with your study, Droop.
Okay.
Hi, Drew.
Hi. Oh.
I bring the hand on out.
Yeah, it is a gross, desiccated hand, but still trying to grip, but it has no fingers. Got a rusty blade lodged in the same board it's nailed to.
Yeah, so I would probably suggest that we do not remove that nail.
No, I do not intend that. Because I'm trying to figure out, is it just an enchantment? Or is whoever had this hand when they were alive, are they bound to this hand still? Because if you recall, I'm very familiar with something like that.
Yeah. So what exactly is it that you want me to assist in particularly?
It was a case of you two breaking out your tools. It's time to play bones.
I was about to make the same suggestion.
The main goal is to figure out what is actually compelling this hand to... Is it...
Well, the one thing
free will?
The one thing you already know is that the hand is still alive, despite the fact that it is magically sustained. Like, it's dried and withered and all, and shouldn't be in any kind of state to move. But it's still living. It does not give off any undead signature.
To be perfectly fair there, I don't know if the original situation he was giving off undead signatures or not either.
Mm-hmm. But John's very skilled in these things.
Yes. That's what she's aware of. She's figuring that they might have to call him this.
And looking at it, it looks like a human hand. Could be half-elven, but better chance of being human. It has a little bit of body hair still attached to it. You don't get a lot of that with elves and half-elves. Proportions are all wrong for most of the other races. So, there's your cursory glance stuff. What are you looking for specifically, and how?
Well, considering the fingers can still bend.
Well, it's actually cut down to the knuckle, but you can see them flexing.
Yeah. What do you mean it's cut down to the knuckle?
As in, from the knuckle upwards, there is nothing there. It's just all been chopped off. But you can still see the stump bits flexing. So there's no actual fingers.
Ah, okay. So it's just knuckle bones that are on.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly, I want to figure out, is his soul still attached to this hand? And is there anything we can do about it?
Sounds more like a clerical thing. So
No. We established it was a
No.
wizard thing.
Yeah, this is a wizard thing.
Okay.
And that's why she's getting back into her wizarding thing.
Because if we know what it is, in theory, it could theoretically be possible to work backwards and undo.
Well, try and probe at it with trying to identify the magic in it. See if there's something in there. Though, do be ready with any healing or any other such thing, because I'm afraid this might hurt a bit.
I'm not doubting.
Mm-hmm. As you focus on it, Cornelius, you chalk out the runes and sigils you need, bringing up the pearl against your eye. Charisma save.
15.
Cornelius, you are filled with the urge to end your life.
So Tuesday.
You want to take that knife. However, it's embedded in the board, so it'll be a strength check.
If I see him reaching for it, I would physically try to stop him, probably.
Well, you're also feeble.
Well, yeah, but...
Oh no!
So, contested strength save from the two of you. Because, Cornelius, you are
thank
just
God.
driven right now.
It just basically lunges at the knife.
Yeah, and she manages to throttle you and hold you in place.
Droop, a little assistance, please.
I don't know what to do.
Can you remove the board to the other side of the room?
He's already flipping through his book.
Now,
No, put your book down.
now, just out of curiosity, is it only the knife on the board that's driving him?
Yes.
Because I do have the sunblade equipped on me.
Yep, all you care about is that knife in there, and now there's 4 sheep in the room.
Okay.
Droop, put the book down and come pick up the board and put it under the bed.
He grabs
Well,
it.
I imagine right now the Cornelius is drowned in sheep, so that's probably adding weight.
Not really. Give me another strength save from the two of you. Well, not a strength save, just a strength check. So just click strength on your stats.
Oh yes!
You are such a feeble nerd. Ray, do you really want to give him a swirly right now? Droop picks up the board, puts it away out of sight. You know exactly where it went, Cornelius, and you still want to go for it.
I crawl
Okay,
towards.
Droop, get the door.
Give me a charisma save,
Get
Cornelius.
the door.
Still wants to do it. Droop is kind of terrified as he watches He watches Cornelius crawl towards him.
Get the door.
Am I saying anything? Or I'm just turbo.
You have full clarity of what you want to do. You know you are still the same person. Nothing's been shut off mentally. But the only urge you have in you right now, you don't have any interest in eating, sleeping, anything like that there. You just want to take the knife and stick it in your own throat. That's it.
Then I basically just... so like you're saying is that I have clarity.
Yep.
So I'm basically just shouting out how it wants me to kill myself. It wants me to kill myself.
No. You're shouting that you want to kill yourself.
Because you are quite convinced you want to do this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But it's also more the part that... So you said this clarity, it was more that I was aware that it's the curse that's making me do it.
Droop, open the door.
I want to kill myself.
Drew panics.
Ignore him, open the door.
Cornelius, you now see Droop as a pretty cool looking, but mostly green feathered lark. Rain looks like a heron.
What?
Finally, she just kind of yells, Malgern, Zarzul, I need you up here immediately.
Can I... but I imagine that I can still see the knife.
Oh yeah, it's just everyone looks like a bird.
Like,
Okay,
you
Zarzul
damn
is coming
bird.
up.
Let me end it. Let me end it.
Zarzul looks like a very skinny Batu. And Malgern looks like an incredibly chubby Robin.
Get all these sheep and birds out of here and let
Yeah, the
me
room's
end
just
it.
full of shit right now. The sheep are just milling about, quite confused, but not really caring.
So the sheep aren't actually living creatures. But they look like birds
Oh,
as
they-
well.
Well, wait until the spell ends.
No, well, as opposed to him, they look like, let's see, we'll say little, downy covered birds. Still very young sparrows.
Look, get him out of here until he can calm down.
Not even gonna have to roll for this. You guys are easily able to handle him because he's just got no muscle in his body. Zarzul just pulls him by the shoulder.
Can I cover
have
the board with the hand on it and the knife and everything with a cloak or something? Just to
Yeah, you
get
throw your
vision?
cloak over Droop in the hand. Doesn't change Cornelius.
No.
Yeah, just keep screaming, end it, end it.
Charisma save, Cornelius. You know what? This would have been a good time to have something like remove curse.
I've got it. I'm just not
Would
thinking
you like
about it
some
right now.
wine?
Healer.
Apparently, you guys
Turns out
have been able to hear me this whole time.
Yeah, I couldn't hear a
Right,
word.
what about-
I've been screaming all sorts of shit. Like, what the hell? And then Rita sends me a message. She's like, "Are you going to help?" I was like, "I am helping."
I am helping. I'm watching his final moments. I'm witnessing it.
It's what he wants to do, guys. We really want to stand in the way of that.
Would you like a drink of wine?
You don't. You
So I've
just
got
want to
some
die.
Really calming wine here.
Just get me the knife. Let me end it.
Does he?
No.
Does
If
he
you're
want-
my friend, you'll let me end it.
Oh, you definitely know we're not your friend.
Yeah.
We've gone over this with the Raxis party. He's just flailing there in Malgern. You aren't feeling any kind of exertion here to hold him. It's kind of pathetic.
Let's get him down downstairs. We can tie him up until this passes.
Droop
Alright,
sobbing
I can go
underneath the
downstairs.
cloak.
Well,
Can I try a
How-
lesser restoration on our crazy friend here?
Yes.
Okay, one lesser restoration coming right up. And I have a feeling this isn't going to do a lot.
I removed the cloak from Droop.
Okay,
It's
you
okay, Droop.
you now see a sobbing goblin.
I
A soblin, if you
gently
will.
take the hand, put it on the bed, give him a hug. It's okay, Droop.
she says he can still hear Cornelius in the background.
He's
screaming,
still in the
"I wanna
door."
die."
As she hugs him, he can see
temporary.
Cornelius struggling against Malgern.
It's okay.
He's not struggling that hard, is he?
Oh, he's struggling as hard as he can, but you're not feeling a thing.
Okay, okay, that makes sense. I guess
After
it
that
still looks
one.
like he's struggling.
We'll fix it. It's all okay. It's just a temporary thing.
Why is he acting like Siegfried?
Well,
Give me a charisma save, Cornelius.
Oh, we gotta be here all fucking day.
it's magic. Sometimes things.
Fuck it, you
Sometimes
get
things go
advantage
wrong.
because someone is actually actively holding you back quite well. Otherwise we're gonna be here all fucking night, because she won't use remove curse.
Actually, if it was a bit longer, I probably would remember. But right now, she's just kind of like, oh shit.
Cornelius, it slowly passes, you are fully aware of what had happened. It really felt like that was your own thoughts.
Okay.
I feel a bit hoarse now, throat's a bit sore.
You can let go now.
I
I-
kind of do a double take, like I'm not so sure.
Let him go. He's got enough room where somebody can stop him.
Okay, now
Yeah.
that Rain said it, and I know she's
Full of shit.
somewhat sane.
I redouble my effort.
Yeah. Like, she's
Now that I've got the
obviously like,
elf saying I
"Not
should
her
let
too."
go, I hold harder. I never let him go.
No, I do let him go. But I have to hear from someone else because I'm not going to trust Cornelius right now.
Yeah.
Also, everyone
Yeah.
still looks like birds. You know who they are, but they look like birds.
Let me just lie on the floor here. That was very uncomfortable.
Obviously so.
Yeah, let's not do that again.
No, I don't think we're going to do that again. I take it absolutely nothing was learned from that.
Oh, that was something learned. Don't identify it.
I mean, if you have someone who's a wizard that has identify, just hand them that and walk away. At the least,
Yeah,
you've got a feeling you know what the hand is feeling.
Hmm. That was horrifying. Whoever did this, or anything like this, they are not human. Or they are not even. They cannot no longer be called it. They're monsters that are more merciful than whoever made this.
I think this is something that we're going to have to consult our friend on.
No.
No?
He cannot. I don't know whether he had more expertise in this, but he cannot be allowed to know this.
I have a feeling he already knows things that are much worse, considering he worked out that lovely little shield thing the hag had going.
Also, Droop drops a spell. You're no longer seeing people as birds. But there are still 4 sheep in the room.
Wait, what spell did he cast that made everyone look like birds?
Lark vision.
Lark vision.
Lark vision.
Oh, Lark Vision. Okay.
Could people please get those sheep out of the room before it ends?
Oh, yeah, okay. I quickly go to try to usher the sheep out.
As they get out, there is a rumbling growl from the first floor. And then you hear many paws moving quickly up the stairs. The yell of a sheep dying is something you will all remember for a while.
Oh, no.
Lorna just takes one down.
Good.
You can see on the stairs, moving step by step, having to first put his front feet up, and then bring the bottom half up, and then keep on doing that in step. Pufflesworth is trying to follow.
Put one foot in front of the other.
And then, just as he opens his mouth to bite, Malgern, you are also out there. Splort.
Oh.
The remaining free sheep are no longer. But they are all over.
Does Pufflesworth look like he thinks he did that?
Yeah, he looks confused for a moment. But then he just puffs his chest up.
I press to digitate myself and then Pufflesworth.
I use a reaction to cast shield to not be covered in sheep guts.
It works. But man, this'll take all of 5 minutes to clean. And Droop sets to work. Sorry, I panicked.
It's
You know
okay.
So they do
That
not
was a
vanish in
stressful
a
thing.
puff of white smoke.
No longer. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I just don't feel like editing the wording of a spell every time.
I don't even seem to remember any time where they have gone in the white smoke. I seem to always recall them exploding
Oh
horribly.
no, the first time it happened. But then there was a time you maliciously used it against Yemek.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was hilarious.
It's just a dick move. That's all it was.
Just a little vengeance for Troop because Yemek.
Castalia, you're having quite a nice little peaceful, chatty date.
Mm-hmm.
Congrats is
No
continuing
knowledge
to ask questions and then talk about some of the things he's been doing.
Hmm.
You have no knowledge that the guy you just had a nice lunch with just tried to commit suicide.
But she always assumed. She's seen him naked. She knows that's the only route for him.
What? When did you seen him naked?
Well, you went to the bathhouse, didn't you? Way back.
I can't actually remember.
Yeah, that was when we were having technical difficulties.
Mm-hmm.
And then he peels away once you have to get back to work.
Mm.
Congrats entering the home after everything's calmed down. Creaking up the steps, just having a glance at how everyone's sort of arranged around Cornelius's room before walking into Castalia's with his bags. And then slowly stepping back out again and then closing the door and just sort of standing there for a moment. Yeah,
You ought
hi.
to be glad you weren't here for that mess.
I'll assume so. All right.
Hello.
Hmm?
Oh, so you're staying here?
Is that a problem?
Oh no.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, you might not want to be near. Try and touch some of the items we have here. If you do find something that looks out of the ordinary, please do ask first.
Oh,
It's for
yeah.
your own good.
Yeah, I know well enough not to touch anything unknown. Don't have to worry. I know exactly what I can put my hands on. Anyway, I'm gonna go for a quick jog.
Have fun.
Yep. Backs up. Just to be awkward air in the room. Down the stairs. And then stomping his way out and about town.
He is quite an awkward character, isn't he?
Well, to be fair, he did just lose all of his friends.
I like how you're blaming him for it.
That tends to be a bit awkward like, and then he did just walk into a very interesting situation.
Yeah, I had I met him earlier today. I don't think it's just this situation that makes him quite awkward, but maybe he's just the kind of person who needs some time.
I could believe that. Well, alright, disaster averted.
Time to look at the teacup.
No.
I'm fairly certain we do not want to look
Oh, you
at
don't want to
it.
be there for the. Oh,
What?
nothing.
This is still early.
No, no.
No. All right.
Alright, so now we know that that is definitely a problem.
Any other magical experiments you want to engage in?
I think after the spell that kind of made Kanye want to kill himself, I think he might need a break for today with magical experiments.
Yeah.
Alright, we'll cool things down a bit. You guys take a little bit of time to just sort of sit around, think for a bit. Enjoy the fact you're alive. Really cling to that. Castalia arriving home from work. Roll me your blacksmith skill again.
All right. Are the dice feeling generous today? No.
Yes.
Yes.
That's pretty good.
Well, the dice are shit, but your modifier's good.
Hmm.
Yeah, you managed to score yourself 2 golds worth for your salary.
Nice.
It was just some very simple work, so it wasn't of a great rate. But Yosef, very pleased to have you back. And as you meander back home, Congrats catches up. Slowly turning past dinner time. And as the door closes behind you two, you then hear...
Well, is someone gonna answer the door? Or...
there.
And the winner,
That-
but
that
not my
sounds-
John
I
Board,
answer the
goes to
door.
Malgern. There's like-
I answer the door, I guess.
As you
Oh,
pop
well,
open the
that's well.
door, you see the Fuggle Clump. He's still
Ah.
knocking at the air, very nervously. But then he quickly steps inside the moment the door's open.
I close the door behind him.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay. Oh, there is more people here than I was expecting. All right. Hello.
Good
Hello.
evening.
Hello, friend.
They're all trustworthy. Yes.
Yes.
What about that one? As he looks at Lorna.
I'm not sure. Malgern?
I mean, she's not going to tell anyone.
She's a cat.
he wants to know if the cat is going to talk.
That's not a cat.
It's a displacer beast. They're
Yeah.
somewhat intelligent.
Okay.
They don't talk. It's fine.
But there are those who talk to them.
Oh yeah, there's spells too. Anyway, okay. Never mind. I'm sure it's
I
fine.
do. She's such a good girl, isn't she? Okay.
Don't forget, I sell rings that have the very spell that lets you talk to them, and they can talk back.
Yes.
Okay, never mind. All right
Should
then.
we move this to someone's private room then?
Oh, it'll
if
be a
you're
little bit
still
crowded
feeling
now,
comfortable?
considering the amount of people here.
True, but
All right,
just
then.
want to make you at ease.
I will not be at ease in this topic, but that's part of the point. Okay, so let's just gather around the table. So, where to begin?
I place the jack in the boxes on the table.
Okay, there's a place to begin, yes. Product of the toy maker.
Yes.
Toy maker. Court. He was in the court. He was King's favorite. Absolute King's buddy. We'd had astronomers, we'd had wizards before, we have an alchemist now. But he called himself an engineer. He was a toy maker. He was extremely good. Really good. Strange aesthetic, but he was...
Absolutely. He was exceptional. We've seen a lot of his work. Well, a bunch of his work.
There is a lot more of his work around the town. Throughout the kingdom, to be perfectly honest. Like you saw the ballistas out the fronts and lining the towers. Those were all his work. He made those. With my family's help, of course, with my clan's help. Although we don't really get attached to that sort of thing anymore. They don't mention us. We don't have our name engraved on them. So, yes.
He helped design the water filtration system.
That too. I didn't really know about that. I think my grandpa talked about that once. Maybe it was
Do
my
we
father.
still have the model?
I assume you guys would.
Oh, then I
Yeah,
go and
we've
place
got it.
the model on the table as well.
Oh, that is a divine little thing. I'm sure it would make a nice novelty teapot.
It's a full-sized filtration system.
Oh.
How big would you say it was, Cornelius?
Well, you'd rate it like a giant.
Yeah.
That's the easiest way to do it. Oh,
We can describe how big the head was.
Yeah.
We
you,
got
like your characters would know the sort of sizes.
Yeah.
It was
course.
this big.
Yeah.
Of course, this bottle is featuring the both of us attached to his feet.
Oh, right. Very interesting. Anyway, history of the toy maker. I think that's the lesson I meant to impart here. This is terrifying. Okay, he was in the court for quite a while. Made a lot of things. He was particularly making soldiers, actual full army, along with defenses for his kingdom.
Oh.
They were fully autonomous. Weren't people. Somehow, he showed them off. They were quite fun. They were very skilled, talented. They trained them. They had them moving around and training them. They are not people. You don't train a golem. They also weren't golems. They were wood, metal, runes, and they were able to learn to fight, learn to use bows, learn to use sword, learn to use crossbows, learn to walk in formation. And I bet you're wondering, why haven't you seen any?
Well, yes, they sound
Uh,
absolutely fantastic.
I'm taking a guess, but go on.
Oh, please, go ahead. I need time to gather my breath here.
They build a
I-
mountain.
No, the mountain was there long before he showed up.
I'm
Okay.
wagering that they tried to do a coup.
Oh, no. Actually, kind of a reverse of that. The crowned king has full control over him, sort of, in that they can't do anything if there's no crowned king, and there's currently no crowned king.
Oh.
I don't
Oh,
know.
well, that makes sense.
That's also why the ballista don't work. That's why a lot of his things don't work. I don't know why he works. Dad said I'm special? I don't know why the water filtration still works. I'm assuming just certain things were linked to the crown. I don't know in what way. I'm assuming magic, because that's my business. Crown itself, not actually that important. Well, I think. My family were never called on to deal with any enchantments or any destruction of it. It was all just with the toy maker. Anyway, so yes, he was in the court for quite a while. King had his wife. King only had a daughter. At some point, the daughter stopped appearing. The toy maker left, and then everything was scrubbed. Everything was scratched away. You could not say his name in public, anywhere near the guard or the knights. We don't know how he did anything he did. I don't know how your Jack-in-the-Box friend here works. I should. I'm pretty good at this. I look at him and I can see the Jack-in-the-Box mechanism. I have no idea how he is communicating like this. How he is able to just talk like a person. I don't know where the confetti comes from. I'm assuming that's just magically conjured. Well, there are some simple ways to do that, like a bit of prestidigitation, but the fabulous prize is also a bit of a guess. But
They're very good prizes.
I don't know how he has an emotional range, how he was able to just talk, simple greetings. Like we've done a lot of work on golems, on constructs, on nothing like this. A simple hello and then responding to a simple conversation. We have no idea how he did that. We don't know how he got these constructs in such number that could learn. You build a golem and you basically put all the stuff inside it, and then you put the earth elemental in there. And that's how it learns. That's what it knows. It doesn't really expand from there. If we build our little automatons, we do lots of little ones. We do stone armed soldiers, but they very small list of commands they can do. Very much they have a purpose, and that is it. I don't know why he's gone, but he is. It was around the same time that the court got an alchemist.
When did the toy maker first show up?
Toy maker about 40, 50 years ago, around when I had my sixth kid. Then 20, 30 years, alchemist shows up. Toy maker is out, alchemist in.
Had the king been disposed of when the
No.
alchemist came in?
No, the king only died about end of spring.
Well, I can definitely see why. They won't just. Why there's a bit of a struggle to just hand over the crown. That's a lot of power for one person to wield.
But that's the thing, he was... I mean, we think he was chased out, and then there's stuff he might not have finished. There's stuff he's probably finished and it's just not been shown off yet. Like, your friend here. Never seen him before.
Yes, we also found a stage.
I have no idea about that.
I think the more relevant thing is the horrifying laboratory that was down there as well.
Which probably ties into the situation.
I'm questioning if you would like to go see it. Stage, that is. I know, part of you is... You really want to, but at the same time it should not be something you see.
I'm gonna be honest, it's a very small little bit of me. He is standing on the table now as he does this. Small little part of me that is saying, yes, definitely, it's very loud. But there's a lot of me that's saying, no, we shouldn't do that, no. Now, as a Fuckle Clump, I'll admit, the tiny little bit that's louder saying we should do it is usually the bit that wins. At this point, for once, I am torn. So yes, because that's how we make progress and change, and I'm probably going to lose my head over this. So probably go at night. Night's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Where?
It's down in the... I wouldn't really call it the sewers because it's not connected.
We can get there via the slums.
Oh, okay. I will not blend in there.
Oh wait, just as an out of character, did we actually tell the clergy about the whole thing?
I don't surmise.
It's an important question. You guys said you told them basically everything, but I told you to be good on specifics. Did you tell them?
I thought when we were saying basically everything, it'd be everything that happened in the slums, not necessarily our side adventure. Because that wasn't relevant to the situation at hand.
Yeah, because I do also remember there was the worry about what they would do to the
Our friends down
cruel
there, yeah.
creatures, yeah.
Mm.
But then there's also the water filtration part of it.
Mm.
Well, yeah, but that's okay if it's left on its own.
Yeah, I think that was also the part where I didn't want to mention that part because the issue was further up that the water was getting poisoned anyway, so there wasn't anything wrong with the water filtration. It was just working overtime.
Also, this guy does look a little... like you're noticing sort of the wild eye that you remember from Ribaldi. But in his case, it seems more of a panic than hysteria.
Mm.
He's trying to keep himself under control, and this is him under control. It's not a very convincing act.
Well,
The journey itself is quite safe. You don't have to worry about that. We've already done it.
Oh, I'm not worrying about dangers, I'm worrying about observation.
Nobody knows what's down there. What's to observe?
Us going somewhere.
Yes, there we go. She got it.
Yes, but to be perfectly fair, we've already been there. We're just showing off our lovely, lovely adventure.
I mean, I have heard of adventure groups that sell guided tours. I think that caught on in Baldur's Gate for a while, but then the murders. Apparently, from what I've heard, you really can't walk around that city without getting murdered.
I haven't been there personally, so I can't attest to that. But very simple. We're going and we're showing you the house. We're explaining our lovely little adventure.
And apparently there's little places in Jurat where you might wind up at just put onto the staff of a ruler. Don't know why I'm thinking about that. I'm just... for some reason my mind's just turning to indentured servitude, cells, confinement, consequences.
To be perfectly fair, I don't think they're going to be looking too hard. They have bigger things on their mind.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll arrange a date. Are you doing anything 3 days from now? Or
I
4,
look at the
or
others.
5. We could do it. We could do it 6 days from now, or maybe autumn's just the wrong sort of season. We should do it in winter.
I'll tell you what, we'll.
We should probably wait for this whole war to blow over, so that could take a while, but I'm fine with that.
Why don't we do 3 days from now?
I mean, I don't want to rush anything. You guys, you just had a big adventure, right? You want to stretch your feet for a while.
The sooner it happens, the safer it will be.
Well, let's just keep it calm. We'll contact you once we figure out what's gonna happen over the next few days. How about that? We'll
Oh
see
yeah,
what
don't
we
worry,
can
I'm
fit
easy to
into your
find.
schedule.
By anyone.
Yes, I can see why you would be worried about that.
Okay.
You know what? Let's change the subject a bit. I have a bit of a more business-related question, something
Oh,
that
sure.
doesn't put you in danger. So I was looking into the idea of enchanted prosthetics.
Oh yes, we have a whole range. You have the more metallic sword, the actual full armor look. We also have been working with this this very sinister Furbolg-looking gentleman. We've been working on proper full nature type, grown from a root implanted in the stump, into a proper
Oh, you
limb.
mean Atagoon?
Oh, is that his name? I was too terrified to hear it. I'm sorry, but the man turned up as an ivy-covered bear. And then he got bigger. I wasn't expecting that bit. I thought he'd get small once he stopped being a bear. He didn't.
Yep, that's definitely Atagoon.
But yes, we've been working with him for. We did it over the spring, and then some over last year of just full. What's the right word? Sort of foliage grown. An entire like tree trunk for an arm. Very expensive, and we're still working on it because we don't really have a lot of nature-minded types in our enchanting labs. Metal, steel, it's all very easy to do. Although we're still having difficulties with sensations. Like much of the time, they don't really know the pressure they're putting down, or they can't really feel contact on it. Some see that as a plus. We don't have any prosthetic eyes just yet. We're still working on that because it's very hard to get accustomed to the correct vision parameters. Ears and noses, they're cosmetic, very easy to do. If you're looking for something a bit more private, we do that as well.
Not quite that. I
How
was
about
more.
legs?
Yes.
What sort of price ranges are they?
Well, if you're looking for just the sort of what we call the animated armor look of just metal that sort of moves purely by enchantment part, you're looking around 800 apiece. For the nature-grown ones, that does take more time as well, but it is also a higher price of 1,000, which we prefer, of course, in 100 platinum. But so far we've had very good luck with the full sensory input from the legs when they're nature grown. Of course, there's adjustments for size as well, and if there's any sort of time pressure.
Okay.
But I do guarantee, this is a Fuggle Clump guarantee, these will last as long as they don't get destroyed by something else. Like, we can't protect them against, say, a disintegration beam from a beholder. once they're on there for life. In some cases, actually beyond life. We're fairly sure that the metal ones will just keep going. So we've currently had a bit of problem with that, with the Crusaders leading us on just in case of undeath risk. They don't want us to make it too durable.
That would be a problem, yeah.
Currently, we've not made any sort of deal on that bit, so we're still able to sell good ones. And I can happily say that so far none of our current users have passed on, which also means, of course, there's none of them out there to steal just yet. Or, not steal, loot. Or recover.
So, we're not interested in that, so it's okay.
Wouldn't recommend it. They're very much an individual commission.
Not a curious thing. What if it was the enchanted prosthetics, but much more simpler for a foul, for instance?
Well, it's about the range of motion. What would you want them to be capable of, really?
I guess just be able to grab and hold.
Not that difficult. That one, I mean, if you just need to grab and hold, you didn't need them to be a musician again. Perhaps if we reduce it enough so that they didn't have a dexterity for writing, although then you get into further issues psychological. Could maybe trim off about 100, 150, maybe a bit more. Well, I will say, if you can, it's better to go for the higher quality. Why go for less when you can have more?
Well, unfortunately, not a lot of people have more.
That's true, but we're also giving them a full limb back.
Yes, I'm not accusing you of anything. I'm just pointing out the realities of some people.
And unfortunately, I have to say that the realities are it's actually quite difficult.
Yes.
We're still in the experimental stages. And every time we have to have a meeting about the grown limbs, he's there. And it's hard to focus on the work.
Nah.
Not that he's done anything, it's just... wow. Like, he's got a big shiny red nose and blue fur and fuzzy ears. He should be adorable. He's not.
Yes, he can be quite intruding. His figure. Stature.
Yes. Big.
Oh well, I just wish to hear your...
If we could work on it for longer, if it was something we could really put down on a production line, certainly the price would drop, but as it stands, it's currently, we don't have them in bulk. And I don't think we could anytime soon. Also, when it comes to the grown, we recommend you buy them in pairs if you need them. Otherwise, there's that awkwardness where you might have one arm shorter than the other for a while. Just we go through all this whenever you're commissioning one. So, any questions?
I think that was about it. Anyone else have anything else?
No, don't think so.
Well, then I think I will say thank you very much for taking your time to answer some of our questions.
Yeah, no problem. Well, some problem, but for now, no problem. Maybe later. And yes, I will. I've got to go see this at some point, but not today. Today is fine. Today is where I will be safe.
Today has already been enough.
Yes. And tomorrow will also be a calm day. And then the next day, well, we're going to have to add more flour to sort of solidify a few of our employees. But it's fine. It's fine. We're doing all kinds of experiments with oozes right now. It's quite interesting.
I was about to say, is that a common occurrence?
Recently more common. Before then, didn't happen at all. But we're learning, we're studying, some new products on the way. Not for a while, though. Not until completely safe. Which will be a while. But yes, I'll get back to work. Have a good day, all of you. And you, and you, and you. That was a lot of people I just told this to. Goodbye. And he's fucking
Take
out
care.
the door like a shot.
Zazul's gonna pull down his hood and look at the box. Is this looking a little strange to him, or is it
You mean pull up the hood?
still just a Jack in the Box?
As you pull up the hood, you can see that there is just sort of vague shapes in there. They sort of match the outlines of Ogdengay and Ole.
Okay. Okay, this explains why the hag was interested in his work. Oh dear.
What is happening?
I explained this to Cornelius.
He doesn't know what you mean. It's been a few weeks.
So,
There are ethereal shapes in there, like what was in the wooden puppets around the slums.
so what you're saying that the hood is showing that?
You know how the hood sort of works.
Yeah.
It's terrifying enough as it is.
Well, it does. Might be able to explain where he might be able to. Well, the toy maker, where he might be able to create these creatures, these magical artifacts. But if he wasn't using any living souls on this plane, it's not to say he didn't use souls from another spirits that have inhabited.
What? I'm just a toy.
Well,
Aren't I?
I think you're more than
You're a
just
very
some
good toy.
regular toy.
But
You're
there is more
special.
to you.
I believe that you're might have been given life from somewhere else to where you are now.
What's for somewhere else?
That's what we don't quite know. But I'm sure it's fine. As I kind of look around everyone else, looking, it's probably not fine.
Exactly, it's just fine.
Okay.
You're doing fine in there?
No.
How
wanna
about
come-
we get you on out of here? I go to turn the thing, the handle.
And they pop out, and the confetti just sort of slides out on the table. And they do spring out and bounce a bit, but Ogdengay just sort of hangs there a wee bit, and so does Ole. Hey.
Do you want us to ask some questions?
It's okay. You don't have to.
Do you want to ask some questions?
I want to ask a lot of questions, but I don't know what they are.
This is normal. Everybody has that feeling. It's a good sign.
Doesn't feel good.
No. But still.
As you manage, Cornelius, to depress a toy.
There are just questions that need to be answered. We just need to find if they're true questions or untrue questions.
I mean, that is important. That's really good, yeah. I mean, you can ask me questions if you want.
Well, who do you think you are?
I really don't know.
But aren't you Ogdengay, and isn't your friend Ole?
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what we knew when we were made, and... But then, that time in the dark... I'm not really sure.
You are Ogdengay,
Mm-hmm.
and no matter how you were made, or anything like that, it doesn't quite matter because you're Ogdengay now, and your friend is Ole now. And you're just as real as anything else.
I'm a stuffed toy as he wiggles one of his stumpy limbs.
That doesn't make you any
Yeah.
less real.
I mean,
If you weren't real,
my
you
wings
wouldn't
don't
be
work.
able to ask questions.
I don't breathe fire. I wouldn't want to anyway. But, you know.
I tried it.
Most
It
of
was
us-
fun.
Most of us don't either. But you have to remember, if you weren't real, you couldn't ask if you were or not.
Gratz raises his hand slightly and then puts it back down.
If you care if you're real or not, then you're real.
Okay. So, question? I already got one.
Yes.
Kinda need another. That's how it works.
Let's see. Is it raining outside?
You see him sort of swing around on his spring for a bit to try and look out the windows. He keeps turning a bit, and then the spring just sort of bounces up a little more, and Ogdengay himself comes off it as he flumps onto the tabletop. And then he gets up. I don't know. I can't really see from here.
Well, let's get you to a window then. So I pick him up and take him to one of the
Yeah, he
windows
walks up
look
to you with
outside.
arms outstretched.
I guess I pick him up in the hand.
Well, he's bigger than
Keep
that. Like,
going
he's one of
forward.
those sort of, fairground big teddy bears, the ones they never give out.
Oh, okay.
So no matter what
I
way you
guess
grab him, he's kind of awkward.
That's
He's still a stuffed toy, so he's light and all, even
Yeah.
for a weak nerd.
just get you over the window here. As I kind of awkwardly hold him stretched out in the arms.
Ah, I see, I see. Oh, I need to go back. Please.
Okay.
And you see him slowly start to pull down his spring and hop onto it and then spin himself onto it again. There we go, and that means fabulous prizes! And that's where we end tonight's session. Because, yeah, we've got
Okay then.
only got 15 minutes left. We can't really get into anything.
Yeah.
Everyone happy for next week?
Should be.
Yeah, should be.
Didn't expect us to go through a full day again. But it's good to get the character bits done.
Oh, you mean you were really expecting us to just go through half a week or something?
Like a couple of days. I really expected once you got the invitations, it would be a shopping trip.
Oh, right, yeah. I would probably say that.
Haven't you learned you can't predict?
I would probably say that during the rest of the evening, they probably also get into the whole invitation part and Cornelius going through what he learned about the whole houses thing. Like the Borns, the farmlands owner.
Yep. Well, we'll get to all of that for next session. But for now, I click the button
it
that
could
says...
be awkward for him to show up if they think Rain is married to him, because currently he also have a lady's favor right now. Good luck favor.
No problem at all.
Well, Rain would promptly, yeah, she was dead serious on splitting up and going to the one that does not think they're married.
But yeah, we'll get to that next week. Possibly. There might be many other things in the way. But for now, I hit the button that says stop streaming.